just like that, at 18, 19, everything that I ever wanted to accomplish, everything that I wanted to do was taken away from me. Just like that, man.
What was going through your mind when this happened?
Why me? Right? All this, I started, my faith was questioned as well. Like, why me, man? Why of all people? Like, this isn't supposed to happen to a guy who was 18 years old.
Yeah, especially a stroke. Right?
Exactly. Dude, it was not like I was unfit. I was in the best shape of my life. Like, I was the top 1% of people who are physically fit, right? And that happened. What's the meaning to life right now when everything that I ever wanted was taken away from me?
You've probably heard that your story is your brand. So how can ordinary entrepreneurs and salespeople like you and me tell our stories in a way that cuts through all the noises in this overcrowded social media world and reach the audience that we want? Join me as I break down storytelling secrets that have helped me achieve over 8 figures in revenue, as well as interviewing some of Asia's most prominent names and rising stars to uncover their stories. I hope this show will inspire you to be more vulnerable and share your story to the world, because your mess is your message. My name is Gabriel Wong, and welcome to the Story Impact Show.
So once again, welcome to this very first episode of the Story Impact Show. Today I have a very special guest who I'm very excited to introduce. His name is Rashveen. He is an investor who became financially free at age 23. He is an international speaker whose message has been impacting tens of thousands of people around the world. He is also the author of the best-selling book, Six Pack Investor, and currently the head of trainer and the director of Buffett Online School. He's a very dear friend of mine, and one of the things I really love about him is that whenever he talk about giving value, whenever he talk about how can he add more value and impact more people, his eyes always lights up. Okay, so please help me to welcome Rashveen. So thank you so much, Rashveen, for joining us in the show.
Dude, my absolute pleasure to be here, man. I'm so honored to be your very first guest.
Yeah. I'm so excited because one of the reasons why I wanted to invite you is because I heard about your story, and I heard about the things that you have to go through.
Yep.
I mean, of course, you have all this impressive achievement, right? International speaker. How old are you, by the way, this year?
I'm currently 26.
26,
Yeah,
right?
right.
26, and already international speaker, right? With all these achievements, right? Being financially free at 23, all these are the things that people see.
Yep.
But what people don't see is what happened before.
Absolutely,
Right.
man.
So
Absolutely.
could you maybe give us a bit about your background? How you became an investor, what got you started, and then from there we'll go on. Yeah.
Actually, my entire person development journey started, I would say, in secondary school. In secondary school, I fell in love with the gym, right? And the gym was the starting place for everything in my life. And I wrote the book Six Pack Investor because I'm very passionate about fitness and investing. But I realized that the things that I learned as part of fitness and going to the gym, paved the way for a lot of things in my life. So when I was 13 years old, when I was about 13 years old, I remember I was actually in NCC, National Cadet Corps, in Singapore, in secondary school, right? And what happened was I couldn't even do a single pull-up. And I was made fun of by my friends. Hey, you can't even do a pull-up. So I got obsessed, man. Every single recess time, I used to go down to the pull-up bar and freaking try my best to do pull-ups.
Yeah.
I couldn't do a single one. Right? I went every single day, and eventually I found a guy who said, hey, why not come to the gym and train? And I went to the gym, and from then on, literally every day after school, I would go to the gym, I would train, I would be so disciplined, man. Every day. I got so good at it. Eventually, in secondary 3 or secondary 4, I actually got selected to be part of the national team for Olympic weightlifting. And that started my journey, and as being a national athlete, representing Singapore, it's very, very difficult, right? It's not easy. Your training regimen every day is eat, sleep, train, repeat. Go to school, go to the gym, get to training, do homework, and then repeat. I had to say no a lot of times. I couldn't do things that my friends were doing, right? So growing up as a secondary school boy, I didn't have the chance to go and play computer games. I don't know anything about computer games.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about all that fun stuff, right? Yeah. I couldn't go out and eat like my other friends ate. I couldn't do a lot of things, man, because I had to sacrifice for my country.
Yeah.
But I realized that from a very young age, I learned the power of saying no, right? The power of saying no to temptations and being focused on my goal. And that is what has led me, that was what laid the fruit, the foundations to what has happened over the next couple of years, over the next decade, and right up to now.
Yeah.
Right.
Before you carry on, right, I wanted to ask, when I first heard that story, when I first heard about how you were so disciplined when you were in secondary school,
Absolutely.
right? And how old were you?
14 years old.
14,
man.
15 maybe,
15,
right?
Yes.
And at that age, right, what makes you so disciplined? What drove you? Because most of us at that age, right, what we probably be doing, like what you say, is playing computer games.
Yeah,
We'll probably not be thinking so much about the future.
Yes.
Right? Like discipline is something that, like I myself, I only found discipline at a later stage of my life. So what drove you? What made you so disciplined?
Okay, so two things, right? Two things. I was always kind of obsessed to be a competitive guy. Always being a sports, being an athlete, you build this competitiveness within you. And, I wanted to be number one, right? I wanted to be, so I performed in all areas. I didn't believe in just success in one area. I wanted to be the best in my studies as well. So I really, I like to, so I did very well in my studies growing up in secondary school. But, I'm not a smart guy, to be honest. I'm not smart. I just pride myself in being a hard worker. I want to hustle hard, man. I want to work hard, achieve my goals, and so I studied really hard. I put in all my effort, and the whole idea is that I kind of wanted to prove that I could do it, right? Prove that I could be the best in whatever I chose to put my mind to, and that's exactly what I did in sports. That's what I did in school. That's what I did in my, O levels, and funny story. In A levels, right? I actually got this award from my school. I got this award called the Library Award. And I was awarded the Library Award because I spent the most number of hours in the library. I'm not even kidding, right? I was the first one in the library to go there and study, and I was the last one to leave every day. And
wow.
My friends, they all laughed, but dude, that was me, man. I really believe in putting in the work and getting shit done.
Yeah. I think what's amazing is that, I've interviewed people, even though this is my first show.
Sure.
I seem to see that that there is this similarities between people who are successful.
Yep.
It's the mindset.
Yep.
Right. Like although nowadays mindset is something that is frowned upon, right? Because people will say, don't teach me all this mindset stuff.
Oh.
But what if that is the most important part, right? Like you didn't become a successful investor or speaker, just because you wanted to do that, right? You have from what I can tell, you already have that mindset since you were young.
Absolutely, man. Dude, whoever says that, it doesn't understand the importance of it, man.
Yeah.
Mindset and having that in place is the foundation to everything.
Yeah.
You can learn the techniques, right?
Yeah.
You can go and learn the techniques of how to build a funnel, how to build a brand, how to invest, and all these fancy things. Here's the thing though, if you don't have the mindset of abundance, you don't have the mindset of, I'm going to put in the work when, I'm going to put in the work when nobody's watching.
Yeah.
Right? Then you're not gonna go very, very far.
Yeah.
It's so important, right? So I always like to share this story. I had this one friend who was, so I teach on investing, right? So I had this one student come up to me and he's like, Rash, I know everything about options, I know everything about investing in stocks, but I can't seem to get past $50,000 in my account. He couldn't seem to get past 50 grand in his account.
Yeah.
He's like, Rash, what's wrong?
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, because your cup is only 50 grand.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm gonna pour this into this, it's just gonna overflow.
Yeah.
Right? It's not about the techniques. It's about growing that mindset. It's about growing that money jar, right? Such that you can think of attracting so much more as well. And that's so important. And that is critical foundation to achieve success in every single thing, man.
Yeah.
I'm so passionate about this because I realize that is what got me here today.
Yeah.
Right? In having the inherent belief in myself, believe that things can come to pass and that blessings will come my way every single day when I wake up. And it happens.
Wow.
It happens. Yeah.
Yeah. I like the energy you use in terms of cup, right? Like we have to expand our cup.
Absolutely,
right?
man.
Not just do a cup, like maybe a container, right? So that we can contain all the things that is coming to our life.
Absolutely.
Awesome. I wanted to ask you something. So you were part of the national team, right? You mentioned you're part of the national team, and something happened to you. I mean, you were not invested before, right? You had your hope in a way. From what I know, from someone who is in the national team, you have your life planned out.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
In a way, you know that that's what you're going to do when you grow up, and then something happened. Could you tell us more about that?
Sure. So so like Gabriel mentioned, I was actually a national team, and actually I was going to enlist into the army, right? and I was training, I was representing the nation, and my dream was actually to become a military officer. You know, like I'm kind of obsessed with being the best in everything. So my goal was to get SAFOS. You know, if you know what SAFOS is, SAF, Overseas Scholarship. This is awarded to the best of the best soldiers. And that was my goal, man. I trained really, really hard for it, and I was a national athlete representing Singapore as well. So I was going for it, right? But unfortunately, in the first week of my service, when I was actually in Pulau Tekong, I actually had a stroke.
This was how old?
This was when I was 18, going on to 19. Right, I still remember it very, very clearly. You know, I had severe pain, you know, going down my whole body. Right, it was like 2 a.m. in the morning. I went down to my officer. I said, "Sir, I really don't feel well. I want to report sick." And he's like, "Dude, come back at 6 o'clock and report sick." And I went back to my room. By the time it was 6 o'clock, I was gone, man. I was semi-conscious. I was literally sprawled on the ground. The pain was so severe. They immediately sent me to the hospital. I was sent to Tan Tock Seng Hospital, and it was very, very scary, right? Because I was put in the hospital. They didn't know what was wrong with me. Man, and the pain was excruciating. I was fleeing in and out of consciousness, and I still remember my mom was there. And it was very painful. Why? Because over the next few days, I started losing sensation. I started not being able to feel my arms anymore. The next morning when I woke up, you know, my parents found that my face was sagging. Why? Because I lost, you know, the muscle on my face as well. And I still remember, I think it was 1 week into being in the hospital when I was trying to walk to the toilet and I collapsed. Why? Because I couldn't feel my legs anymore. And dude, it was very, very scary, man. You know, and it was scary because, dude, like, I want you to understand that I was a, you know, top level. I was an athlete, right, lifting thousands of kilograms a week, and got to a point where I was in rehab trying to lift a piece of paper again, right, trying to move my fingers again. And you know, for an athlete at that level, it's very depressing stuff, man. You know, you think you can lift the world on your shoulders, and then you're there trying to lift a piece of paper. You know, so going through that was really, really tough. And I think the tougher part came when I was told that, you know, I could never become an officer again, right? Because I was down PES. You know, I was made to become a PES E9 L9 soldier, right? Because I was not combat fit anymore. And you know, more painfully, I was told that I cannot represent the nation anymore, right? I cannot go back to weightlifting. And actually, that decision came from my parents, right? My mom didn't want me to go down the path of weightlifting and putting myself under so much physical pressure. And you know, I couldn't bear to not listen to my parents anymore, right? It's a tough period, man. So you know, just like that, at 18, 19, everything that I ever wanted to accomplish, everything that I wanted to do was taken away from me. Just like that, man.
What was going through your mind when this happened?
Why me? Right? All this, you know, my faith was questioned as well. I asked the wrong questions, you know, looking on hindsight. You know, I was very, very, like, why me, man? You know, why of all people? Like, this isn't supposed to happen to a guy who was 18 years old.
Yeah, especially a stroke. Right?
Exactly. Dude, it was not like I was unfit. I was in the best shape of my life. Like, I was in the top 1% of people who were physically fit, right? And that happened. And yeah, why? That was a question that was coming to my mind. And what's the meaning to life right now when everything that I ever wanted was taken away from me? I don't know if anybody who's watching this video has experienced this before, where everything that you actually look to achieve, everything that is in your 5-year, 10-year plan is just finished, gone. You know, start from scratch again. And that to me was pretty depressing, man. You know, so I went down this entire phase, this entire downward spiral of not knowing what to do. Like, what was the purpose in life?
Yeah.
Right? Why am I alive? Why am I alive, right? So I went down this phase of asking myself these questions. You know, and if there was one person I credit for, if there's just one person I credit for getting me out of this slump, it would have been my mother. It would have been my mother. My mother was my prayer warrior. She never stopped praying for me, right? She, I love her to bits. I love her so much. And she prayed and she prayed and she prayed. And she always came to my room and she always told me, son, you have a bigger purpose. God put you here for a reason. If one door closes, another door will open. And that door will be something that you cannot even imagine or ask for, right? And she always believed that. And initially when I was hearing that, I was like, Mom, just keep quiet. Like, I don't want to hear this.
Yeah.
But she kept persisting, right? There's power and persistence.
Yeah.
One day she came to my room, she's like, son, God put you here for a reason. There's a reason for everything that's happening. If you cannot use your body and your muscles anymore, use it for something else. Yeah. God has a purpose and a plan for you. Yeah. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Yeah. This is one thing that she put in my room, right? Yeah. She hung it up there. I opened my eyes and every day I saw that. Yeah. And just one day something clicked in me, man. I was like, okay, cool. Why not? If I can't use my brains, if I can't use my body, why not use my brains to do something, right? And I started this journey of looking at reading books on investing. I started picking up personal development books. I love reading. So I started picking up books on personal development. Pick up books by Robert Kiyosaki, Mary Buffett, all these people, Secrets of a Millionaire Mind, T.F. Ecker. I started going for these seminars. And suddenly a spark just went off, man. I told myself, hey, why not go down this path of growing myself and at the same time making impact and income as well. And that was when this entire journey of personal development in terms of the financial freedom space started, man. Yeah. And dude, the journey has been incredible. Yeah. Absolutely incredible. Yeah. Yep.
Before I ask you further question about the investing journey and how you actually get started, what sparked you to look into that, right? Because there's so many things, so many other things that you can look into. I just wanted to ask, like, what was that turning point, right? Of how you get rid of that depression, how you overcome the darkest moment. From what I can tell earlier, what you told me was that when your mom was speaking faith, right?
Speaking faith
in you. The first time, the worst thing we want to hear when we are in the lowest part of our life is not this kind of stuff, right? Yeah. Because our mind just cannot connect.
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
But it was her consistency of telling you again and again and again. Was that the biggest contribution? And like, how long did it take for you to change your focus?
Dude, you are so absolutely right when you say that. When you're at that space, that's the last thing you want to hear, right? Yeah. But sometimes it needs to be jammed in you. Yeah. And I would say that that would have been the number one thing, right? Dude, it was difficult, man. As much as I'm, a little bit ashamed right now to say that, but I really questioned. I was like, God, are you real? Yeah. Are you really there for me? Say that you'll never leave me nor forsake me. Yeah. What's happening? But I realized that, again, connecting the dots back again. My biggest lesson from the entire thing was this one lesson, and this is the anchor to my life. And the anchor to my life is everything in life happens for a reason, and that reason is to serve me. The reason is to serve me for something even better, even greater. That's what I truly believe, man. So nowadays, whenever, because of that one incident, right now, whenever something bad happens to me, I get excited, man. I literally get excited because I cannot wait to share the testimony that will come out of it. Because I know for sure that everything in my life that happens for a reason. That reason is to serve me. Wow. So, talk about mindset, right?
Yeah. I guess it was a shift of focus, right? Changing of your question. When you were sharing that, it reminds me of like the things I had to go through as well, right? I didn't have to go through the physical stuff. I had to go through a lot of mental torture, spiritual torture, right, from my ex-mentor. And I realized that the turning point came when I started to see how can I use this story as a testimony in the future.
Oh man!
Right? I realized when I changed my focus to that, like one day I'll go on a stage someday, a big stage. I don't know whose stage would that be, and I can share that story, and the story becomes an amazing testimonial.
Absolutely.
Or amazing testimony, and that changed my focus. Was that what got you out of that?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I realized that every single thing that happens to us would be a great story to tell, right? So sometimes when I'm in my darkest valleys and something happens, I just tell myself, hey, this will one day go out to bless somebody else. So why not?
Well, and I think another thing that I just wanted to touch on before I go on to the next point, especially for the audience, right, is that when you are trying to get out of a depression or your darkest moment, you have to be surrounded by people who believe in you.
Oh man.
You have your mom, right?
Yeah, I cannot stress enough how important it is, man, to be around faith-filled people who speak life into you, who speak hope into you. It's so important, right?
Yeah.
If you surround yourself with people who drag you down, then you'll just be dragged down into the pit even further.
Get out of that.
Yeah, you
right?
need to get out of that. The number one thing I feel is to change environments, be around faith-filled people who speak life.
Yeah.
And that's so important. Speak life and you'll be given life and life more abundantly.
Yeah. Or worse, hang out with friends that justify why you fail.
Exactly.
Right?
Dude,
Get you deeper into that spiral.
Absolutely. But too often in life, right, we like to be surrounded by people who tell us that, it's okay. It's okay, right? Oh, you didn't achieve that? Oh, it's fine. So many of us didn't achieve that as well. Like, dude.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to be around those people. You want to be around people who, who see what you truly can achieve.
Yeah.
And call you out and say, dude, wake up, man.
Yeah.
You can achieve so much more.
Yeah.
I think that is the people that we want to surround ourselves with.
Yeah.
And that's how we truly become bigger than ourselves, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know why I like about Rash, right? And why I say he's a dear friend, because just 1 week ago, I was down with shingles, and doctor told me that I'm going to face this for the rest of my life. And I posted that and I sent an email out. I was rather depressed. I sent an email out.
Yeah.
And Rash was like the first person to send me a message and tell me, dude, I'm so pissed. He told me he's pissed, right? That I shouldn't believe in what a doctor tell me.
Yeah.
Right? I should believe in God. I should have faith, right? I should stir up my faith and believe that this will not happen to me again.
Yeah.
I need friends like that. I realize I need friends, and not friends that tell me, you know what, it's okay, just rest and take care of yourself. Right? So, I mean, like, these are good encouragement sometimes, but not what I needed.
Yeah.
And what Rash sent me, right, kind of knocked me off. Yeah. And I started to believe again that and reinforce the idea, why is it so important to hang out with the right people?
Absolutely, man, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Bro, I know you do the same for me as well, man. So again, surrounding yourself with people who would call out the bullshit and believe in the you who is so much bigger than who you currently are.
Yeah. Awesome. I wanted to touch on this point where you started reading books about investing. You started to dive into learning about value investing.
Yes.
And all this stuff. Like, what triggered that? There were so many other things that you could have done.
Yeah.
But what triggered you to do that? To focus on that instead?
So, of course, there's so many different things, but obviously I got stirred to a certain place by different mentors that I actually listened to. Right. So one of my very first mentors who I got to know through this conference called the National Achievers Congress was actually my dear friend Sean. Right. So he was the one who was speaking, and I was very, very aligned to what he was actually speaking about. And this comes to my next point with regards to how do you actually achieve success. It's about finding mentors, and most importantly, finding mentors who your values align with. Right? So when he was on stage and we were speaking, I realized that his values were family, God, his children. Right? That was his most important values, and I could ride with that. Right? I decided from a young age that I didn't want to look for mentors who were rolling in their Bentleys and having I don't know, that just didn't appeal to me.
Yeah.
Right. So I followed him and his ways, and he obviously was investing. He was really, really good at investing, and that was how I got started to this path of learning about investing. Right. So yeah, man. So that was my first touch into learning about investing, and that's how I got really, really obsessed. That's how I really got. I really loved the subject, and I got deeper and deeper into it.
Got it. All right. So tell me more about that journey, right? You took that journey with your mentor, Sean, right? And what was the turning point? What was the turning point that caused you to? And how do you recover? By the way, you were still you were facing a stroke, right? And how do you recover? What was the turning point? How do you go deep dive into that journey, in the investing journey?
So, dude, it took me so much of rehab work, right? I still remember, like, Tan Tock Seng Hospital became my second home. I was there for physiotherapy, occupational therapy. Every day I'll be there, doing whatever I could to recover. And, of course, by the grace of God and because of my prayer, church, people who I was surrounding myself with, I managed to make a decent recovery. I went for so many different therapies, man. I went for so many different surgeries. I went for so many different, like, new things they were testing out. They tested out some IVIG, some new drug, and then it happened to work on me. And then I managed to slowly make my recovery, gain back my muscles. And yeah, so I started recovering. And in that process, I started going for seminars as well. Right, literally, I was in my army uniform, and every day I was in my number 3, right? And every day, no joke, every day after my army, after my camp, I would go to a seminar, attend a seminar, sit right in front, and everybody would recognize me for the. I wasn't the guy who changed out. I was in my army uniform and sitting down in my army uniform, right? And everybody would look at me and be like, I don't give a shit, man, whatever, right? And I would attend these seminars and go and learn. And it was learning not just about investing, learning about investing, learning about business, network marketing, got myself involved, started learning how to make some money, started my first blog, started making money from that as well, and then using that money to start investing in companies, right? So investing is great, right? But obviously you need cash to finance that investing in companies.
Yeah.
So I started different hustles on the side to start making sales, and I used all that money, man. I bit the bullet, right? I literally bit the bullet. Like, I lived bare minimum, right? But I used everything that I could, whatever I made, I used that to start putting it into my investing account, month on month again. Kept my expenses really, really low, and I believe that that's what's needed for young entrepreneurs as well.
Yeah.
You need to bite the bullet for a while.
Yeah.
Right. So live life like most people wouldn't, so that you can live the rest of your life like most people can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's absolutely what I did, man. When again. Why could I do that? It was because of how I was brought up, right? With my weightlifting days, when I could say no.
Yeah.
I said no to almost everything, man. I said no, right? I hustled hard. I saved whatever I could, and every single cent, just compounded, and that led to a life which I'm living today.
Oh. And I think that is something that a lot of entrepreneurs need to learn today.
Yeah.
Right. They make their first pot of gold, for example. Right. They hustle. They make their first pot of gold, and most of us, the first thing that we do is spend the money, right? Like, I didn't have a mentor that taught me that. When I first started out, when I made my my first $1 million, I spent it all away. I wish I have learned. I wish I had a mentor that you had, right?
Exactly.
I learned the things like learning how to say no, right? Learning how to put your money aside, save your money. Like, what's the point of having like an expensive car, an expensive house? At a young age, like you can have that at a later stage. Like, but most people do it for the wrong reason, wrong intention, right? They do it because they want to show people how successful they are.
Absolutely,
right?
Man, absolutely. But so I learned that from a young age, as in looking at the people who I followed, right?
Yeah.
And for them, what was there, as in they didn't see a need to show off, right?
Yeah.
It's just to fill the egos, and they're like, I don't need this. I have treasures in heaven.
Yeah.
And that was their mindset. That was the whole, that was the whole ideology. And because I followed that, I followed the right path, I believe.
Got it. I think the first lesson that you just mentioned is more like learning to say no, right?
Yeah.
Putting aside the money, saving it.
Yeah.
Right? Whether you are a freelancer, entrepreneur, make money. When you make money, you gotta set aside money.
Absolutely.
Right, for your future. What do you think is the second most critical, important thing that entrepreneurs need to learn to be financially free early?
Patience.
Awesome.
Always thinking macro, always thinking long term, right? Making decisions today that will benefit you in the next 10 years, 20 years. So there's this saying, right? I love this saying. I always say this. Broke people think about tomorrow, right? People of middle class think about maybe next month. Rich people think in terms of years. The truly wealthy think in terms of generations ahead.
Wow.
They make their decisions today, which will affect their children's children. Most people can't think that way, man. Most people are thinking, how can I make money tomorrow? How can I make money in the next hour, right? What job can I do right now which will give me $10 per hour?
Yeah.
That's how most people think. And I realized that the wealthy people, they don't think that way, right? They'll put in effort today, which will bring them harvest and bountiful harvest, possibly in years to come, but they'll do it today, right? And I believe that's exactly what we're doing here right now.
Yeah. Patience, Focus on the long term.
Yeah,
right?
patience, focus on the long term. These are investing principles, but these are life principles as well.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. In business as well, even in business, you got to reinvest in the business.
Absolutely.
Gary Vee always said that, like, he always reinvests back into the business.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's something I learned recently. And when you do that, you start to compound your results.
Absolutely.
Right? You compound your effort. Right?
This, unfortunately, this is not what you learn in school, right?
Yeah.
You don't learn this in school. You don't learn this in the real, as in the real world. People are taught to, hey, I go and work and then I get, some money back.
Yeah.
And I'll exchange my time for money,
Yep.
right? And that's how we are taught. We're not thought to, hey, how can I use my money to get back more time, to compound that, to actually earn more income in the future? Dude, that's stuff that it's foreign to most people. People don't understand that.
Yeah.
People don't see the value. Like, dude, why do you wanna, write a book? But they don't understand that, putting effort into writing a book, even though it sucks, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort. It squeezes your brains out. I took nearly 6 months to write it. But that book until today is a lead magnet. It's a funnel which makes me money, 3 years, 4 years on.
Yeah.
People don't get that, see?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So what was that breakthrough where when you decide to be a speaker rather than just an investor? I mean, you learn all this stuff, right? Why do you then decide to become a speaker, and how do you find your voice, your message? Why do you decide to go around the world today, to speak into people's life, to impact people's life? Like, what caused that?
So, okay, great question, man. So when did it very first start, right? It actually started, number one, when I achieved a decent amount of results in my investing. And then I thought to myself, hey, in the army, when I was in camp, a lot of people asking me, hey, Rash, what are you doing? I was like, yeah, I do a bit of investing and stuff like that. And then they're like, dude, why not you share? Then I was like, okay, cool. So I actually rented a room. I printed out notes. I did all of that. I paid, good money, and I did it for free, man. I called together a couple of my friends, about 20 of my friends, and I just did it for free. I just, and the entire intention was, to be honest, it was not to, I want to be a speaker and all of that.
Yeah.
My intention was very simply, I just want to share, man. Just want to share what I've learned, and hopefully whatever I learn can impact people.
Yeah.
So I did that. I just shared. I was like, cool. This is what I did. I just shared, and every month I was consistent with it. So I think the most important word is consistent, right? So I didn't just do this one time. I did this every month. I put in effort every month. I called together my friends. However big, however small, I just did it. I did it, and that compounded as well. That really, really compounded. And I started building a community. I started building a tribe of people. And once I started building a community, then different opportunities started popping up into my life. Right? So again, it came from a space of wanting to just share, wanting to just give, wanting to just share the world what I've learned.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So at that point of time, I didn't have 7 figures. I didn't have all these fancy things, but I achieved a decent amount of results, and I was just there to share with my friends who hadn't started on how they can start.
Yeah.
And that truly impacted their lives, and they were very, very thankful. And that's how it all began.
What's interesting when you share that, I remember someone once told me that leaders are givers.
Absolutely, man.
Right? If you're trying to find your voice, trying to find your message, I think the best way is to look at what you can give.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned that you were doing it for free.
Yeah, for free, man.
Yeah.
Free. Yeah, that's exactly what we did, right? Just to share with you all, like, I went for Funnel Hacking Live this year with Gabriel. And dude, like even in America, when I came back, when I was there, I already told Gabriel, dude, we're gonna do an event, and we're gonna do it, and we're just gonna share, like, from our hearts, like what we've learned from Funnel Hacking Live. And bro, like, look at what we've achieved since then, right?
Yeah.
Since that one gathering, like, tell me, man, like, it's been nuts, right?
There was a ripple effect, right? More people started
effect.
doing something, started posting more on social media.
Dude,
There's
the
a bunch of
ripple
people who came.
effect that happened not just in our lives, but the people who attended that day at our event. It's crazy, man. If you saw what happened to Mark, he posted about how that one event changed everything for him.
Yeah.
Bro, shit, I'm getting goosebumps saying this shit, man. Damn. Yeah. But this is the power, right? This is the power from coming from a space of just giving and wanting to serve.
Yeah.
That's how you truly change lives and make a lot of money at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I think one thing that I just wanted to clear is that, when we say share something for free, I mean, eventually you can't give everything else, everything away for free, right? Because you need the resources to be able to continue to add more value to people, right? Once again, it's a mindset shift that we need to have. But if you are stuck, if you're just starting out, right, the best thing you can do right now is to, in whatever you're doing right now, you're learning something, right? You are focusing on something, you're focusing on your craft, right? You should start sharing it for free, right? On social media, on live events. And then from that, you will somehow find your voice and your, your message.
I believe this is how I think anyways. Sometimes when you give so much, it's impossible not to receive, right? Give and you shall receive. The good book says that, and I truly believe that. Sometimes when you give so much out of goodwill, you build all these brownie points, right? And eventually when you start putting these brownie points in people, eventually they will want to humans reciprocate that way, right? If I'm pouring so much into you, you're like, dude, cannot I need to give back to you somehow. Right? And it'll come back to you somehow in one way or another, right? Whether it's in deals made, cash, or whatever it is, man. So that's what it is, and I feel it always, right? Where with people, like Gabriel, for example, like, he gives me so much, right? Through his sharings on his group. If you're not in his part of his group, join his group right now, right? Fun Alliance, be part of it. He gives away so much value, right? Dude, if this guy comes to me and tells me, Resh, I want you to help me promote this event, immediately I'll do it for him. Like, no question. Anytime, any day, bro. All day, every day. Right? So, that's what I'm talking about. Right? So, dude.
And I just want to share that, like, just recently we did an event together. People actually came up to me and say, like, Gabriel, do you have a program? I want to buy your program. And the problem is I don't have a program right now. Like, people want to give me money, right? But I don't have a program right now. So that's my issue. But the point was that we gave something for free first, right? We gave value first. We serve, right? We impact people's life, and in a way, people want to always give back eventually.
Absolutely.
Right? Awesome. How do you build? You have a tribe. You have a pretty massive tribe. I remember the first time we did an event, you just sent out a couple of emails, and the room is full house, right? So maybe you can tell the audience more. Tell me more about how do you build that massive tribe online? I mean, other than just giving value, what is another critical thing that people have to learn?
One of my principles that I wrote in the Six-Pack Investor, and again, this is said so many times, it's not like you haven't heard it before, but it's with regards to consistency. Right? What I built up didn't happen just over like 2 months. It's being built up over the years, right? And whenever I do events, I always deliver at such high value, and I give them so much that people are like, dude, whenever you have a next event, you must let me know. They know that when I say something, it's going to be of super good value. So, it just, that thing just reciprocates. And that's the reason why people are like, when I put out an event, people are like, dude, I fly over, man. People came down from India. They actually bought a ticket for our event because I was saying that, we're going to do this event, I'm going to do this with this guy called Gabriel, another of my friends as well. And they're like, dude, I'm buying a ticket. Settled.
Flew all the way here.
Yeah, they flew all the way from India to Singapore, right? It's crazy. But that's what it is, man. Always constantly over-delivering, making sure they give good value. And so when I say that, hey, Rash, I am doing an event, done deal. The room is sold out. Finish.
And you mentioned about consistency.
Yeah.
Right? Being consistent in communicating with your audience.
Yes.
Right? Speaking to them, talking to them.
Yes, talking to them, always constantly providing value as well. And that's how you build a raving fan of a raving database of people who are more than willing to just to buy your stuff, to say, hey, whatever you have, I'm gonna get, because you constantly over deliver and you always give above expected value.
I probably have one last question before we end because of time. But one of the things that people, or I would say the limiting belief that people always have is that they will say that I have nothing to give, or I'm just new, I'm just starting out. Then how do I, any tips that you can give them? How do they build their social media platform? How do they build their following? How do they build their audience?
Okay, so very, very simple tip. Share your progress. You don't have to be right at the top to be able to share and give. You see, like I attended Funnel Hacking Live, and to be honest, I haven't even seen ClickFunnels in my life. Right? I didn't even see that in my life. Like, I have no idea what funnels.
In fact, I was shocked that you were there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, Gabriel was like, what the hell are you doing here? It's like, just hanging around with you. Right? So, I had no idea. But here's the thing, right? As a result of that, I managed to, get a lot of my friends onto ClickFunnels, onto one funnel away and all these different things. And how, I just shared my journey. I was like, guys, I'm in this journey of doing, X, Y, Z, whatever it is. I want you all to follow my journey and see my progress.
Yeah.
So when you're doing that, you're putting a declaration out to the world and showing people that, hey, I'm doing this, I want you all to follow, and whatever I learn along the way, I want to share with you as well. And yeah, come from that space, man. So I always share this theory in my classes. There's always going to be, maybe you're here, there will always be somebody who is richer than you, smarter than you, more experienced than you, right? But if you constantly keep comparing yourself to these people, you're never going to go higher.
Yeah, there'll always be someone higher.
There'll always be someone higher. I don't care who you are, man. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
There'll always be somebody who's better than you.
Yeah.
But the whole idea is, you're not serving them, right? Your goal is not to serve them. Your goal is to serve people maybe who are here, right? Who are maybe at a lower level, to get to at least where you are, right? To bring you up to at least this level. And that's how you progress.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I did, and that's exactly what I've applied in every business that I've started, whether it's in fitness, in investing, in speaking, all these different things, man.
So share your journey.
Yeah,
right?
share your journey. Share your journey, share where you are, and be authentic and tell them the truth. And people love that. People love your authentic, vulnerable side, and they love to see how you're progressing. And if you can share them how you're doing it, great for you.
Awesome. Yeah. Do you have any final thing that you want to share with the audience?
Well, again, my final message is to always give, come from a space of giving. And I think the one message that really, the story I shared with you with regards to what I went through, everything, my friends, happens for a reason, and that reason is to serve you, is to make you a better version of you. So never ever forget that.
Yeah. Turns out the whole stroke thing became a good thing for you.
Dude, it was the best thing that happened in my life.
Yeah.
Right? On hindsight, it always is, right?
Yeah.
So absolutely.
Yeah. Where can they reach you?
So you can reach me on my Facebook. You can look for me on Facebook and search up Six Pack Investor. You'll see it as well on Instagram. I'm Six Pack Investor as well. And you can check out my website, BuffettOnlineSchool.com, to get information on my investing programs around the world.
Awesome. So we'll probably put in all the animations and stuff that you need to find for Rash, to find out more information about his speaking, about his programs, and about his book.
Yep.
Right? People can still get
absolutely,
a book, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Amazing stuff. Thank you so much, Rash. I appreciate you being here today, and thank you so much, guys, for joining us in our first episode of Story Impact. I hope you have learned something so far. And go ahead and give us, write in the comment wherever you're watching this. Put in the comment what have you learned from this session from us so far. Okay, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.